So, as many of you already know, I have a son who's severely autistic. I understand that now diagnoses are made on a level basis. However, my son was diagnosed before that was put into place, and he was diagnosed as moderate to severe. My son was so unresponsive as an infant and a toddler that they literally thought that he was deaf. He is 11 years old. He's still only partially verbal. I talk about how our house is like Fort Knox. It is a full-time job making sure that he does not escape the house, and I am disgusted. I can't even emphasize the level of disgust I have for the people that are talking about their children, people that they raised, that they birthed, and saying that it's a life sentence, talking about how their lives are so ruined. It makes me so mad. And listen, every time I speak out about ABA, people will say, well, you can say that because your son isn't self-injurious. He doesn't have meltdowns like this. He doesn't deal with stuff like this. He isn't, violent, blah, blah, blah. You don't know if my son has any of those behaviors. You don't know because I've never broadcasted it. My son's a human being. I'm a human being, and I wouldn't want somebody going online and recording me in vulnerable moments like that. And of course, I'd never still do that, but for this video, I do think it's important to be transparent that when I say my son's severely autistic, I don't just mean, oh yeah, he tries to run away sometimes and he's not fully verbal. My family was up till 3 a.m. last night. I was scared shitless, hoping the cops wouldn't be called because he was screaming so loud. My son is a big dude now, and he's actively learning about boundaries and stuff like that, and I feel like that's as far as I'll go. But if you can catch my drift, we deal with a lot, if not all, of the behaviors that these parents are talking about. Then following it up with talking about how their lives are just ruined. Now, you know me, I do not kiss anybody's ass. I just don't. I'm not a perfect parent at all. I come on here, I say what I mean what I say, and if it doesn't settle well with somebody, then I'm not the person for you. So I'm not just like spewing bullshit just to look like, a good parent or a loyal parent or, a parent that is afraid to say anything bad. I have no interest in that. But it pains me that these people are talking about their children. I don't care. I don't care if your kid's 30. I don't care. That's your child. To speak about them like your life is ruined for a choice that you made, by the way. About how you're serving a life sentence, like as if they imprison you. And let me just retrace back to, you made the decision to have a kid. So did I. I was in no place to have a child, none at all. But like they say, when you make a choice to have a kid, you might have a disabled kid. You might have a trans kid, a gay kid. You don't know. It's highly, highly likely that you made that consensual decision. I know that there is a good chance that my son will be in my husband and I's care for the rest of our lives. Before I met my husband, and my son and I, we went through hell together. There were weeks where he barely slept. Weeks. I'd have no sleep. I'd have to keep up with this insane amount of appointments that don't even seem humanly possible to keep up with. And even during the darkest times, and there were a lot of them, never did I once think that my son, or him being autistic, was a prison sentence or completely, ruined my life. So whenever anybody says, if you're offended by RFK's comments, then it's not about you. It is about my family, because we go through periods of absolute exhaustion. Every severe symptom you've mentioned, like I said, not going into detail because my son, he's a human being, we deal with it too. I know that's wild to think because I do record every aspect of my life, but the comments were about my son. They do pertain to us, and I will be damned if my kid ever thinks that he ruined my life or that he's a prison sentence, please. When I think about why my son is autistic or how did this happen, I look at my family fucking tree and it makes a lot of sense, and maybe if you sat back and looked, it would for you too.